Fascia Chronicles is a comprehensive product that's intended for practitioners, strength and conditioning coaches, personal trainers, to help bridge the gap of understanding between conventional anatomy and now this more modernized, complete view of anatomy, which emphasizes the fascial system heavily. This is something where we're going to utilize both practical situations and lecture-based PowerPoint slides to try to help illustrate the points that we are looking to get across with this. The main thing that we're trying to do with Fascia Chronicles is help improve the collective understanding of fascia and how it's involved in sports performance and physical therapy.
Right, and I think to whoever it's for, whoever's working with anyone dealing with any fascial issues, whether again you're a PT, you're on the strength side, or you're just anyone on any therapy side, I think this will be the answer or one of the answers to bridge the gap on questions you may not know.
With this product, what you can expect to learn is first and foremost just a very simplistic and comprehensive understanding of what the fascial system is. For several decades, especially in the academic and the university settings, the understanding of fascia and the science behind fascia has pretty much been neglected or overlooked. And with that, with this product, what we're really trying to do first and foremost is help present that 101 fascia anatomy and understanding, and then also being able to put it into context for strength and conditioning coaches, personal trainers, and physical therapists, athletic trainers. In addition to that, you can expect to learn how to program, how to modify exercise selection, how to have better decision making with your athletes when you are utilizing a fascial-based approach. And by approach, we also mean just simply perspective. A better understanding of the fascial system comes with a different or a modified view of just how human movement occurs in nature. And so with this, we want to try to help reinforce fascial-based ideologies that aren't supplementary to conventional strength training or conventional physical therapy practice, but rather being able to implement them or integrate them into what you are already doing as standard practice. The third piece that you can expect to take away from this is to have a better understanding of progression and regression based on athletic movement or based on injury limitations. A big thing with the fascial system is that it influences all systems, all tissues at all times. So when we have somebody who is either injured or is just not performing as they should be, having this fascial-based perspective helps to be able to navigate and problem solve some of these issues by having better solutions for the problems that are present.
And on the therapy side, again, it's just better understanding, having a better knowledge of finding out, again, those answers to questions we might have not had in the past, and just gives us a better understanding of how we approach treatment, how we approach soft tissue modalities, how we approach therapeutic exercise. I think a lot of those things will be covered in this product, and especially on the athletic training side, give us better return to play decision making and better take care of our athletes. That's not in a real archaic manner as what we were taught in the past.
So for me, the inspiration behind this project is actually reasonably sentimental to me. I've always been very obsessive and extremely committed to my career and to this field of sports performance, exercise science, strength and conditioning. But I was somebody who was borderline a degenerate in undergrad, and I had a really tough time not only just understanding the material that was being taught, but also it was very frustrating for me because with something as amazing and as mesmerizing as the human body and human anatomy, it was always baffling to me how I could never really sink my teeth into what we were going through in class. Come to find out after graduation, getting introduced into these fascial concepts through anatomy trains and Thomas Myers and these really the founding fathers of fascial training, it really helped me to make sense of what I felt was an incomplete science and an incomplete academic panel or semester coursework. I just thought that the academic level was very negligent on this side. So once I got to a point where I started to really grasp the concepts of fascia and how it can be involved in training, it was almost like this aha moment where certain things just finally started to make sense. Speaking anecdotally, with the population that I primarily work with, who's just absolutely riddled with injuries, I noticed a direct correlation between the better understanding I had on the fascial side and how to implement this stuff in training. It was showing directly better results with all the athletes that I was working with. Subjective pain levels were coming down. People were moving better with less restriction. We were improving strength. We were improving flexibility. And it was almost like I was doing less or didn't need as many different things to be able to create these outcomes. And I think that it goes back to that integrative piece where when we think about the fascial system, we now know that this is something that has direct impact or influence on all systems throughout the body.
And for myself, it just made me a better clinician. Being a young ATC, kind of going up through the ranks, we're taught in school that, it's either this, or this based off testing, but then sometimes I had, these crazy cases where I just couldn't put my finger on it. And I think the fascial system was kind of that answer. I think with considering the fascial system, we're really not making ourselves so myopic in one, train of thought. I think it kind of lends itself to, go through different avenues which you never really thought of, or what modern medicine can't really answer right now because it's not in a, published study or anything like that. For instance, proprioception. I mean, we think of proprioception, sure, of where your body's at in space, but there's a lot of fascial considerations to train proprioception and to actually use proprioception as not only as a clinical rehab piece, but to unlock even more athletic potential, which we're trying to do in rehab. It's made me have better outcomes with non-specific joint injuries that it's kind of hard to put your finger on, but you have to put a diagnosis on, specifically like lower back pain and all that stuff. So I think, with all things considered, the fascial system was such a kind of godsend answer to a lot of things that I was not taught in school. We did touch on fascia, obviously a little bit, but not in the sense of how in-depth this could be. This lends itself to so many questions that still need answers. However, I think we're going in the right direction in trying to traverse fascia itself. So many things to unlock that we certainly are definitely going towards.
And I think, that ties back to, the base of the inspiration behind this. Jeremy and I have been working together in some capacity for over a decade now, which is kind of weird. But, and what I've noticed as we've gotten better with our understanding on the fascial side is him being on the restorative side as an athletic trainer and me being on the performance side as a strength and conditioning coach. One thing that we've continually noticed is that there is so much more overlap than there is separation. And I think in terms of specifically athletes who are coming off of injury, return to play, and athletes who are perhaps even just a little bit older, like veteran weightlifters and older, professional athletes or guys and girls who are coming out of retirement, their fascial system has been beaten to hell. And there's no sense, or there's really no pragmatic nature to continuing to overload people who are already having trouble sustaining load tolerance. And this is where kind of our two ends have merged, and we've found a tremendous amount of success with that, and we hope that that's reflective in this product. Having a better understanding on the fascial system, at least again from my experience, has helped to provide a more complete understanding of human anatomy, human movement, and performance. The fascial system is highly integrated, and it's a highly intelligent system. So this helps indirectly through decision making as a coach. This helps with exercise selection, progression, regression, and just generally being able to make switches and adjustments and modifications on the fly. I think having a better understanding of how fascia works and how it is involved in performance gives you a better opportunity to observe and assess movement in and of itself.
And that's no different from the therapy side. I mean, having the knowledge of the fascial system, again, we truly understand what it is to have a holistic approach to healthcare.
Because of the nuance of fascia and because of the scarcity of this topic or of this study within conventional developments, it's very important to understand that this is not just some gimmicky concept that we are saying should be supplemental to or in place of conventional training methods. by no stretch of the imagination is this anything really different than what we've all been doing, and doing well for several decades. Where this product is really trying to funnel in on is blending those two worlds together. In addition to that, this is not something that is preferential or better than anything else, any other methods or any other philosophies. And that's to include other fascial perspectives, which there's a lot of carryover from our perspective to others that are prominent in this community. But then there are some things that are slightly different. We are not saying that we have all the answers, and we're not saying that this is an absolute way to go about things. This is simply just what we have found success with in our day-to-day practice. We have accumulated hundreds, if not thousands, of hours of utilizing these methods and these concepts and perspectives. And I think from that point, it's really just our best representation of what we've understood and what we found to be successful.
Yep, and I couldn't agree more. I think it just gives us brand new eyes and gives us more understanding. Just like in sports medicine or in any other kind of endeavor, as things advance and we have more clearer understandings, we just understand what we're doing already and make that better and refine it.